Since taking office, Governor Josh Shapiro has worked closely with the IFF members in Pennsylvania to strengthen the fire service across the Commonwealth. Last year, Governor Shapiro signed legislation making it easier for firefighters in Pennsylvania to access workers' compensation benefits for job-related PTSD, a goal the Pennsylvania Professional Firefighters Association had been pursuing for nearly a decade. And in 2023, he helped the IFF and Philadelphia Local 22 secure a $22 million SAFER grant to reopen 3 fire companies that had been closed for nearly 15 years due to budget cuts. Before becoming governor, Josh served in the Pennsylvania State House and as Attorney General. Throughout his career, he has earned a reputation as a pragmatic leader, willing to work across the aisle to get things done. Please join me in welcoming Governor Josh Shapiro. Governor?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I want to begin by saying thank you to President Kelly. I am grateful for our partnership. I'm grateful for the trust that we've built in one another. I'm grateful for the ability to just pick up the phone and be able to work through an issue or bullshit about something. And I want you to know, for me, I've got an extraordinarily high bar when it comes to liking a Celtics fan, as a Sixers fan. And this guy managed to exceed that bar and then some. But in all sincerity, I really do appreciate you. I appreciate the work you do leading this International Association of Firefighters every day. This organization is a powerful force in the Commonwealth and across this great country. And I want to tell you, it's a real honor for me to have a few minutes to address you here this morning. It's a privilege to be able to be here with many of our nation's dedicated and brave public servants. And I want to shout out one, my dear and very, very close friend, Bob Brooks, who leads the way for us as the president of the Pennsylvania Firefighters Association. And with my help, and thousands of Pennsylvanians who I know have his back, next year when he addresses you, he'll be addressing you with a new title next to his name, but he will always be a firefighter. To each and every firefighter and first responder who is here today, I want to say thank you for the work you do to keep our communities safe each and every day. You obviously run toward danger to keep others safe, just like thousands of firefighters across and police officers across our Commonwealth every day. If you'll allow me, I'd like to just take a moment to say that yesterday, late at night, Pennsylvania tragically lost one of our heroes when Pennsylvania State Police Corporal Timothy O'Connor was killed in the line of duty. Last night and into the early morning hours today, I spent time with his wife, Casey, and his parents, Maureen and Tim, at the hospital. I got to hear about Tim. He was a great cop, a cop's cop, and a public servant who dedicated his life to keeping his fellow Pennsylvanians safe. He was a loving dad to a little girl. And he was a great husband and a good man. He should be able to see his little girl grow up. Our entire Commonwealth this morning is mourning his loss. We stand with the O'Connors and the entire Pennsylvania State Police family. Tim was the best of us, and may his memory be a blessing. He embodied the work that our law enforcement and firefighters and first responders do every single day. You all put on a uniform, you go to work, you answer the call to serve your neighbors and put our well-being first. Look, I've always known how important your work is. And it's been a point of pride to me throughout my career to be able to stand with our first responders, our firefighters, and deliver for you throughout my career as a state representative, as a county commissioner, as the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, and now as its 48th governor. One of the things I've enjoyed most about being governor is to get to travel across the Commonwealth and meet and say thank you to your brothers and sisters. I spent a lot of time with firefighters all across Pennsylvania, including our IAFF leadership from locals in Harrisburg and Erie, Mount Lebanon, near Pittsburgh, and in Pittsburgh, Bethlehem, Lancaster, and Altoona. Listening to your brothers and sisters tell me about what they need from our elected leaders so that your members can continue to do their job every day and run into burning buildings to keep the rest of us safe. I've always appreciated your members, but I must say it hit home for me in a new way when I witnessed firsthand the heroism of our local firefighters and first responders. About a year ago, my family and I were targeted by an arsonist who tried to kill me and my family while we slept when he broke into the governor's residence in Harrisburg and with a handful of Molotov cocktails set our home ablaze. It was just a few hours after we had finished a community Passover Seder. As my wife and I frenetically gathered our kids and our dogs and rushed out of the house, those local firefighters from Harrisburg rushed in. That image of us passing in the hallways is seared in my memory. I will never, ever forget that. They worked quickly with great professionalism to put out the fire. And Lori and I will always be grateful for their professionalism, their bravery, and their sense of duty in these challenging moments. But I know that wasn't just some isolated act of heroism. It's what firefighters do every single day in communities all across Pennsylvania and all across this country. You are the very best of us, and I want you to know I will always have your backs, always. While some at the federal level are hell-bent on cutting emergency response funding, attacking unions, taking away your right to organize, I want you to know that in Pennsylvania, we respect the union way of life. We are protecting it, and we are investing in it. And on my watch, Pennsylvania will never be a right-to-work state. Your power to organize will always, always be protected. Always. Thank you. But I want you to know, in Pennsylvania, we don't just play defense against bad federal policies or bad-intentioned legislators in our capital. We're playing offense, too, and we're investing in your members. That's why, under my administration's leadership, we've made it a priority to deliver the resources our first responders and firefighters need to do this difficult job. We've driven out $143 million in grants to over 2,500 fire companies all across Pennsylvania to help them pay for equipment, training, facility upgrades, and operational costs. I believe I'll be at one of those fire halls this week with Bob talking about this. On top of that, we had an additional $60 million in low-interest loans that we've distributed to 274 fire and EMS companies specifically for equipment replacement and upgrades. We've delivered dedicated resources for urban search and rescue to prepare first responders, firefighters, and others for large-scale emergencies, and we even created a new team in the western part of our state out by Pittsburgh. We've made sure to secure an increase in the 911 surcharge, sending more vitally important resources to the 911 centers and first responders on the front lines when emergency strikes. We're delivering more resources under my leadership, but I recognize we've also got a lot more to do to deliver peace of mind that firefighters will always be protected if they get hurt on the job. That's why I signed into law a bill that finally allows Pennsylvania first responders to receive workers' comp for post-traumatic stress injuries and makes the criteria for establishing PTSI claim a whole lot more transparent and a whole lot easier. I pushed hard to make this a new law, and it is now in our Commonwealth. But I want you to know I'm not done getting stuff done for all of you. My budget proposal this year builds on that foundation to deliver even more for the Commonwealth's firefighters. First, it creates a new competitive $30 million funding stream for fire companies on top of those existing funds. These new competitive grants will allow fire companies to make significant one-time purchases. Look, the Commonwealth already provides some funding for fire companies, but let's be real, our current system doesn't allow for them to make these major investments like repairing a fire hall or buying a new truck or other big ticket items. This new grant initiative helps to begin to solve that problem, and you can rest assured we're going to follow through. Second, I'm pushing lawmakers in Pennsylvania to put a bill on my desk that looks out not just for you, but for the families that stand behind you. I know public service is a family commitment, and I appreciate the service that your families provide that allows you to do this work. I'm asking lawmakers to send me a bill to make any first responder on the job in Pennsylvania during a disaster declaration eligible for death and workers' comp benefits. We believe that is a critically important reform. Right now, first responders aren't eligible for those benefits, and I want to fix that. And third, I'm calling on the Pennsylvania General Assembly to pass legislation that ensures cancer screenings are covered by insurers for firefighters. Those dollars should never come out of the pockets of firefighters. Your members are exposed to toxic chemicals every day. We've got to look out for them and ensure they can get tested regularly at no cost out of their pockets or out of their families' bank accounts. Look, I want to close with this. In Pennsylvania, I hope it is clear to you that we've got our firefighters' backs because we respect you and we appreciate the work that you do every day. And we recognize that our Commonwealth has played a unique role in both firefighting and emergency response throughout the country. You see, way back in 1736, Ben Franklin, one of my predecessors as the leader of Pennsylvania, a founding father, maybe the greatest inventor of the last 300 years, and most importantly, a volunteer firefighter, created the Union Fire Company in Philadelphia. It was the first formally organized fire company of its kind in the colonies, and it served as a model that spread across the country. I want to thank your president for respectfully correcting Senator Markey earlier when he tried to claim credit in Massachusetts. It is indeed Pennsylvania and Philadelphia that started it all.
Doubt it.
The Philadelphia Fire Department, we all know and respect today, well, it has its roots in the company Ben Franklin founded all those years ago. On the other side of our Commonwealth, Pittsburgh was home to the Freedom House Ambulance Service, the first emergency medical service in the United States operated by specially trained paramedics. That was established back in 1967. The Freedom House Ambulance Service trained black men and women in Pittsburgh as the first EMTs, and their success in saving lives has served as a model for the rest of the nation. In Pennsylvania, our first responders live up to that proud legacy every day, and we are proud to be a model to the rest of the nation. You help our neighbors on the worst of their days. You do it with incredible skill and compassion and courage. And so on behalf of myself, my entire administration, and my family, and on behalf of the good people of Pennsylvania, I want you to know you all have my gratitude. And I want you to know in me, you've got a governor who will always have your back and who will continue to look out for you. So may God bless you and watch over you, and may God continue to give you the strength to do this important work you do every day to keep your fellow Americans safe. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.